Hey, it's Arjun, CEO of Doola.com. Doola is a business in a box for e-commerce, and we are a venture-backed startup based in New York City that's raised over $13 million from some of the world's best investors, including Y Combinator, Nexus Venture Partners, HubSpot Ventures, and notable angel investors like Cody Sanchez, Graham Stephan, Sahil Bloom, and more. I promise you that by the end of this video, you are going to understand what bookkeeping and accounting is for Amazon FBA businesses. And the way I'm going to cover this is in a few steps. I'll first run through what is Amazon accounting and bookkeeping. I'll then explain how to track sales and expenses for your Amazon FBA business. I'll help you understand COGS and inventory and other key terms. We'll then go through Amazon payouts and reimbursements. We'll run through sales tax, specifically marketplace facilitator laws and how taxes also apply. I'll go through the pros and cons of manual versus automated bookkeeping, and then I'll wrap up with how Doola can actually simplify all of this for you. Let's dive in. First, what is Amazon accounting or bookkeeping? I want to call out there are some important differences between e-commerce accounting and standard accounting. But in very simple terms, Amazon accounting or bookkeeping involves tracking all sales, expenses, returns, fees, taxes, and other financial activities related to your business on Amazon. So in order to do this, you first need to choose between cash-based accounting and accrual-based accounting. I've covered this in other videos, but cash-based accounting is recording transactions when the money actually enters or leaves your bank account. Accrual-based accounting is when they happen, as opposed to when the money lands in the account. So to answer quickly, typically businesses will start with cash-based accounting and as you grow, switch to accrual. So in summary, Amazon accounting or bookkeeping means keeping accurate records of all financial transactions and activities related to selling products on Amazon. So that means you have to monitor your sales performance, your inventory, your cost of goods sold, manage expenses, and make sure you're compliant with tax regulations. Now, that's a lot. So the key here is going to be preparation and organization with systems. By maintaining proper and organized accounting practices on Amazon, that's how you're going to be successful and avoid future legal or tax issues. So that's an overview on what Amazon bookkeeping and accounting is. I now want to run through and get more tactical on how to do accounting and bookkeeping for Amazon. As a seller, it's crucial to have a thorough understanding of how accounting and bookkeeping works to make sure you run your business successfully. Now, you might not need to do it. You could outsource it to a company like Doola, for example, but it's still good to have understanding of what's happening behind the scenes. So the first step is tracking sales revenue. You need to track your revenue by recording your total income from selling your products on Amazon in a specific time frame, which is going to help you understand how much money you make. However, if you sell across borders or in different currencies or on different channels or marketplaces, you might need to track each marketplace separately for accounting purposes. Another thing is Amazon will actually deduct fees before disbursing payments, so you must account for your gross sales and Amazon fees separately. Next is expense tracking. As a business owner on Amazon, it's very important to keep track of all of your expenses that are necessary for running your business. For accurate accounting, you must track all your expenses related to selling on Amazon, such as referral, FBA, storage, packing, shipping, subscription fees, and cost of goods sold. Apart from these, you'll need to track supplier costs as ordinary expenses and advertising and marketing costs as marketing expenses. So make sure you have the proper documentation for each expense because these can actually be deducted from your revenue when calculating profit and potentially lead to deductions. The third is COGS or cost of goods sold. COGS is the cost of sourcing and distributing the product you sell on Amazon in a specific period. Now you can calculate COGS using the total value of your inventory plus cost of additional product purchased, which is the total value of your inventory on hand at the end of the period. This includes direct costs associated with the products you sell on Amazon, such as purchasing or manufacturing the goods, shipping inventory from suppliers, and your Amazon fulfillment fees. It will also help you differentiate between gross sales and net sales, as only net sales are subject to taxation. There's then reimbursements and settlements. Amazon reimburses sellers for lost or damaged inventory, which you must track and record accurately in your bookkeeping process. Likewise, a settlement is a periodic deposit made by Amazon into your bank account, which includes the net sales proceeds after deducting any fees, expenses, and refunds. Understanding reimbursements and settlements is important so that you can maintain accurate financial records. And at the end of the day, understanding these components of bookkeeping and accounting allows you to maintain accurate records and make better business decisions. So by effectively managing your sales, your expenses, and fees associated with selling on Amazon, that's how you optimize your profits and scale your business. So that's a little rundown on how to do bookkeeping and accounting. I want to get into a little more tactical of a question. Should I do this manually versus automated? So if you do things manually, Yeah, you get full control, and there's potentially no software costs because you're using pen and paper or Google Sheets. But the cons is it's very time consuming. It's going to be incredibly prone to errors, and you'll miss out on potential deductions, and this does not scale. So I would strongly recommend an automated solution. An automated solution is going to sync automatically with Amazon to pull in sales and expenses. It can even help you track fees, inventory costs, and tax obligations, and will generate financial reports like your cash flow statement, your P&L, and your balance sheet instantly. And biggest thing I would say is it saves hours of manual work. Now, the cons, to be completely thorough here, is yes, there's going to be some setup and there might be some cost for a subscription. But the truth is, I think it's a no-brainer to pick an automated solution for your bookkeeping. And then if you want, you can have a dedicated bookkeeper. So this is something Doola offers, but I would really say do not go manual because it doesn't scale. And ultimately, as an entrepreneur, your time is money. So you need to spend that money building the business, not putting transactions into QuickBooks or another bookkeeping software. Now, an important thing I want to cover is sales tax, specifically this concept of marketplace facilitator laws and how it impacts selling on Amazon. Hey, before we head into the next half of the video, I want to quickly explain how Doola helps entrepreneurs from all over the world start and scale their dream business. Doola is the ultimate business in a box. We help you with company formation, bookkeeping, business taxes, analytics. That's right, we'll even file your business taxes for you so you can focus on what you do best while Doola handles the unsexy paperwork and admin behind the scenes. If you're just starting a business, you can choose one of our formation packages, which includes company registration in all 50 states in the US, an EIN, an operating agreement, certificate of good standing, a registered agent, a virtual business address, sales tax registration and reseller certificates, and full access to the Doola community. And if you have a business already, completely okay. You can choose one of our existing business accounting plans, which includes dedicated bookkeeping, business tax filings with the IRS, free one-on-one CPA consultations, and access to business analytics. So if you're looking to level up your business today, whether you're looking to start or scale your existing business, head to Doola.com where you can schedule a free consultation and get a demo. Let's get back to the video. The Marketplace Facilitator Law is a tax regulation that requires online marketplaces like Amazon or Etsy to collect and remit sales tax on behalf of third-party sellers. So what does this mean for you? The good news is Amazon will actually automatically collect and remit sales tax in states that require it, meaning you don't need to handle sales tax collection in these states yourself. However, this doesn't mean you're entirely off the hook because you'll still have to report these taxes on your tax filings, and there's a couple other considerations too. You'll want to always just make sure that states are up to date in terms of marketplace facilitator laws. So if this changes, keep that up of mind, and Amazon will actually let you know, they should let you know, they'll do this for you automatically. You'll also want to track your Amazon tax reports. So yes, even though Amazon is collecting and remitting the tax, you want to reflect that properly in your bookkeeping. And then there might be times when you still need to register for a sales tax permit anyway. If there's a supplier you work with and they ask for a reseller certificate, you might need to register for sales tax. Amazon might require it too for a certain state. So the good news is, marketplace facilitator laws mean Amazon actually handles a lot of the heavy lifting, but you still should track your sales tax obligations carefully and make sure it's reflected in your bookkeeping. The other thing I would say here too is the second you go multi-channel, that's where Amazon won't help everywhere. Let's say you start on Amazon, but then you add Shopify. Amazon won't have visibility into your Shopify sales. And then let's say you expand and add a direct-to-consumer or brick-and-mortar sales channel. At that point, yes, Amazon will help handle your Amazon sales tax obligations, but once you've gone multi-channel, you'll need to account for all of your expenses and spend and the revenue you're collecting across all these channels. So at that point, I would really consider working with a tax expert to make sure you're on top of all sales tax obligations, whether you've hit physical nexus in a certain state or economic nexus. We've covered those in separate videos in depth. And at that point, that's something which Doola can help you with, but I would talk to an expert at that point once you've gone multi-channel and if you're also scaling globally, because then there's international sales tax concerns as well. That's something we can help with on a consultation too. I want to wrap up with some tax compliance tips for Amazon sellers. So these are things to keep in mind to stay compliant from a tax perspective. The first is understanding your tax obligations. So step one is knowledge is power. So you want to be in compliance with taxes and understand the obligations, which include sales tax, income tax, or other state tax requirements. This could be physical or economic nexus, which varies from state to state. You'll then want to keep accurate records. So again, having a system in place with accurate records is going to save so much hassle down the line. By maintaining these accurate records, it's crucial because it means come tax season, there's no catch-up bookkeeping. Everything's in order and your CPA can actually do the filing. So this means keep track of receipts, invoices, shipping labels, all documentation. If you use bookkeeping software, which I recommend, this should automatically be done for you because all of your transactions will flow into the bookkeeping software. You can also deduct eligible business expenses. So I love this one because as a business owner, you're entitled to deduct expenses from running your business from your taxable income, which reduces your taxable income, which means you pay less in taxes. So this can include inventory costs, shipping fees, advertising expenses, and more. Now, at this point, you could DIY this, but I also want to recommend you can utilize tax software. We talked about that earlier, or hire a professional. The landscape's changing quickly. Your time is money as an entrepreneur, so you could work with someone to help here. You also should file your taxes on time. That's a no-brainer, but I want to call this out. Please file things on time, and if you're running late, you can seek an extension. It's good not to wait to the last minute here. And then please utilize Amazon's tax tools. Amazon offers various tools and resources to assist entrepreneurs in tax compliance. They have a sales tax calculation service and they have a tax document library. So ultimately, by keeping up to date on your obligations, keeping records, use resources when they're there, and following regulations and filing on time, that is how you will avoid penalties and legal issues. That is a wrap. That was a primer on accounting and bookkeeping for Amazon FBA businesses. If I had to summarize, the biggest takeaways here are use some automated system. Marketplace facilitator laws are really neat because it might mean you actually don't have to handle any sales tax obligations. Amazon will do it for you. But remember, the second you go multi-channel or you're going international, that's when that could change. And ultimately, use automation, put all of your transactions in one place. If you use bookkeeping software or a dedicated bookkeeper, they can help you with your key financial statements as well. And the earlier you can do this, the better. Because doing things like getting a dedicated business bank account, separating personal from business, all of these things will just simply mean your taxes will be a breeze, you'll be able to maximize deductions, and the biggest thing is you can just focus on scaling your Amazon business. Let Doola handle your back office, the unsexy yet critical bookkeeping, taxes, sales tax registrations, if needed, so you can focus on what you do best while Doola handles the rest. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any additional questions, please comment. You can also reach out and schedule a free consultation or book a demo with the Doola team today. We can't wait to help you. We can't wait to work with you. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.